Hello and welcome to the Flix Forum podcast, where each episode we go back and we look at a Netflix original film in the order of release. This episode we have Netflix 300th film. This is our 300th episode of the Flix Forum podcast. Crazy. Today we've got the 2020 Indian Hindi horror film Kaali Khuhi. It's directed by Terrie Samundra and stars Shabana Azmi, Sanjeeda Sheikh, Riva Arora, Satyadeep, Mishra, and Leela. Samson. I'm Jesse. I'm your host. Thanks for jumping in on our 300th episode. Crazy. We've got an international film. We seem to, our big milestone episodes seem to be the international films or films that haven't been very good. So we'll have to wait and see if this one's any good. We do start our show with the Fast Flicks, where we do a quick little summary of what the film is all about. So this one, Kaali Khuhi, it's about an evil spirit being released on a town, and it's up to a little girl to help. Oh, interesting. This is an international film, as I've mentioned, and we do like to sort of see if we can find out how it ended up on Netflix, or there's some behind the scenes sort of stories. Very, very little I could find about this film. The only thing I could find out that this was included in the 2018 Sundance Women in Film Financing Lab, because our director is a female. The only other thing is the translations around the world. The direct translation of Kaali Khuhi is the Black Well. So that's what it is in English, the Black Well. In Portuguese, it's called the Curse of the Well. In German, it's called the Black Fountain. And in Japanese, it's called From the Bottom of the Jet Black Well. And this is all to do with that spirit being released from the well in the opening moments of this film. This did have a premiere at the Mammy Year-Round Program Home Theatre in India on the 26th of October 2020, and then it hit Netflix worldwide on the 30th of October 2020. Apparently it cost 1.5 million to make. I'm not sure if that's rupees or... no, it wouldn't be, would it? I'm not sure. I'm guessing 1.5 US million. That's a pretty decent, I guess, budget for this film. It looks good. This film does look good. It was put on the 2021 Reframe list for narrative and animated features, so that's we see that with a lot of films over the last couple of years. What are the critics and audiences saying about this film? Not very good, I guess. It's sort of middle of the range. If we go on Rotten Tomatoes, it sits at 56%. That's rotten. That's on 9 reviews. The audience is even lower. It's on less than 50 ratings, but it sits at 22%, so pretty ordinary. IMDb sits at a 3.6 out of 10 on 1,400 ratings, and Letterboxd sits at a 2.8 out of 5 on 513 ratings. It's only been logged by 688 people, so not a lot of people have actually seen or gone out of their way to log this film. What are my early thoughts on this film? I mean, I've got to be blunt, I guess. There's very little to recommend about the film. I mean, it does look good at times. I sort of said that before. And it's trying to tell an important message, really, but it sort of feels a little bit lost because it's not really scary. This is meant to be a horror film. So, yeah, a little bit unsold on this film. Let's talk about some characters. So, the characters in this film, we've got a family. We've got a mum, a dad, and a daughter who travel to the countryside to sort of... attend to the dad's sick mother. And we will start off with the dad, Darshan. Like, he obviously lives in the city with his wife and daughter. The mother's ill, so, he quickly jumps at the opportunity to go back to his hometown and see, his mother in this village where she's ill. He's a nothing character. He's this stereotypical male who, he just really isn't a character. He just shows that he wants to do things his way and control every situation, and just rubbish, really. And then the wife, Priya, I mean, they try to show that she's independent. She wants to go to work. She wants to earn money. She wants to make her own choices. She loves her daughter, but doesn't really do much else either. And we sort of halfway through the film, she's the daughter, Shivangi, she sort of becomes the main protagonist, I guess, halfway through the film, because she feels this presence of this spirit, and she's got an imagination. So as an audience, you're like, is this her imagination or is this real? And, it's hard to tell because the film is a little bit all over the shop. The only other person is the auntie. I think it was Satya. She's the only sort of character, probably the best character in the film, really, because she's the one who seems to know what's going on and understands the troubles of the past of this town and the present and possibly the future if this thing doesn't get stopped. So that's where we're at. The director, Terrie Samundra, feature debut. I've done some shorts, some music video clips. I really like the style. I like the visuals. I like the shots, the shot choices and those types of things. I think they probably need some help on the development of the script at times. Let's talk about some scenes. What are some scenes that stood out? There's one scene right at the start of the film where we've got Shivangi's in the city. She's eating this icy pole, or like this, ice block. When it's hot, you drink or you lick these icy poles, and she's got a red coloured one, and the drop or the melting drop of it sort of drips into the water in this well. And so we get that idea of the well, which is good. And then it's like red, like blood, and it signals what's to come as well. So I liked that. I thought that was a good intro. But the rest of it, there's not much to sort of write home about. I think things that weren't very good, the grandma that they go to visit, she sort of goes off at Priya, the mum, for making her son miserable and not giving her a grandson, and sort of saying everything is about the wife. It's all about Priya. She says, it's all about you. You should be taking the medicine I gave you to give me grandsons and give birth to boys. I thought it was really gross. But it ties in with the themes and the ideas of this film. It just felt weird listening to someone say that out loud. There's this scene where the hands go down this mirror covered in blood. It just made me laugh. It was like a reverse Titanic shot. The Shivangi, the daughter, towards the end, she gets bitten by this spirit chick, and she screams, and it was just so poor. Such poor acting. I don't like to whack kid actors, but that was really bad. And then we get this rain and lightning when Shivangi goes outside to confront this spirit girl. It was laughable. And then there's these visions of the past, and this tradition in this village of the older ladies sacrificing the female kids, and we get this scene where it sort of flashes through that and sort of crosses into the present, and there's this bed sheet that's sort of thrown over, and there's like dancing under it. It's like meant to be artistic, but it was just lame. So a couple of things I didn't like. The themes, the ideas. I get the themes, ideas. They're important messages. So that idea of female infanticide, where eliminating the females or the girls from society, but obviously you'd think that this is from the old society, that it's predated, but apparently this still sort of happens, and that idea of only wanting male children. And the push from this film is that there should be new thinking, and the new generation should rid society of these almost evil ways too. So that's clear. And the same with like the idea of women and females needing to stand up for each other and support each other. That idea of girl power, rather than supporting the idea of the patriarchy, which is quite prominent through the father and through the village, and why these people are doing what they're doing. So yeah, it has a bit to say. I think, what did I take away from this film? I sort of said this, it's not scary. There's some real weird jump scares. They were so weird that they weren't actually scary, and it just felt random. So I'm not sure that the horror genre necessarily worked for this type of story. Some questions, some pondering, some ideas. There's a few things I just wanted to sort of clarify, I guess. Deshaun, the dad, like he makes it clear he wants to stay in this town. This is my house. This is where I grew up. Why does he want to stay there so badly when there's such bad things going on? It just didn't make sense. Shivangi, the daughter, there's a moment like right at the start of the film when they're getting in the car as a family to go out to this village, and she got to stop to take a pee. She's got to go urinate, and goes by the side of a river, and there's a frog there, and she just spends time with this frog. I'm like, oh, maybe this is an important motif or something. Like, what was the point of this frog? I don't get it. Maybe it was to do with the idea that she's good with animals because there's a buffalo at the house that she's good with later. I don't know if that was, I'm drawing massively big strings here, so I'm not sure what the issue with that was. And that buffalo, I mean, I guess we've got to say the buffalo is okay at the end of the film, so everything is okay. We're all good. I'm ready to wrap this up. I know it's a short one. There's not a lot to talk about with this film. We give the film a rating out of 5. For me, this, like, visually, it's fine, but overall, the narrative, the dialogue, it just sort of lets this film down. And you can't really call it a horror film because it doesn't offer any scares. Giving it a 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 for me. Just, I can't recommend it, but it still, looked okay at times. We've got socials. We've got X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Give us a follow, give us a like. The post for this episode that I'm going to put up, the question is, does Shivangi save this town? As we get this shot at the end where she's with all of the kids, I guess, that had been thrown down the well over stages. So did she save this town from this spirit, or is she actually dead too, because she's with all these kids that had died? So I'm not sure. A little bit of a confusing ending for me. We're back. I'm sorry. I apologize if someone's really taken this film and really understood that ending and interpreted it that, yes, everything's all good. I'm not sure that it sold that idea. So we're back next week, though. Next week, we have another international film. We're in that 2020 year where Netflix were buying up everything during the pandemic. So we've got a French film from 2020 next week. It's a crime film. It's called Rogue City, or Bronx. It's directed by Olivier Marchal and stars Lanik Gautry, Stanislas Merha, Karis, and David Bell. Excellent. I'm intrigued. A crime film, a little bit different to a horror film. We've had a few horror films in this back end of October 2020 when it was Halloween, so that'll be good. 300 episodes. We did it. We've had a lot of highs. We've had a lot of lows, possibly including this film as well. But it's been a big journey, a good journey. I'm enjoying it. We're still sticking around for the rest of this year, and hopefully by the end of 2024, we'll be into the 2021 film. So keep listening, keep subscribing, give us a like, give us a follow, give us 5 stars. Appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.